Hi, my name is TG Trooper. With me today is Laz Newton. She is here to talk about her debut novel. It is your debut
Yep.
novel, yeah. Finch's Arms. Have you got a copy? Oh, there it is. Finch's Arms. Okay, so Finch's Arms is a story about a man with four arms. That is, four arms, which is unusual. How did the idea for this come about?
Yeah, very unusual, very bizarre, but hopefully a lot of fun. In my book, here it is, I've actually got an author's note where I explain exactly what sparked the idea. So I shall read that out. You just find my page. Here we go. What sparked the idea? One particularly windy evening, I was out on the porch trying to light a cigarette while holding a glass of wine and wresting my hair out of my mouth. The glass smashed, the wine was lost, and my hair singed. I looked up to the heavens and cursed the human form. And I got carried away with the idea of, oh, we've all felt it. We want an extra pair of hands. We could all do with another pair of hands. And I just got carried away, started thinking, what would that actually be like? And started coming up with crazy scenarios in my mind, thinking that that could be quite funny and visual and absurd and surreal. So that's what sparked the idea. But it started off as something quite frivolous, and then it became something deeper with a lot more meaning.
Okay, well, that's interesting. So, some readers might come across the book expecting a fantastical or sci fi story. So, how would you describe the tone and genre to someone picking up the book for the first time?
Yeah, it does sound fantastical, and I suppose people might assume it's magical realism, but it's really not. Um, it's something fantastical happening, but set in reality. And in the case of my protagonist, oops, sorry, Danny Finch, that's why it's Finch's Arms. His surname's Finch. He's Irish. It's rather a grim reality. He lives in the top of a derelict pub up in the eaves. Um, he's in a dead end job. His life's not really going anywhere. He's not really achieved much. Um, and then he's bestowed by university's lost property, it seems, with an extra pair of arms. Um, so it's got a loose folkloric retelling element to it. Like the object of plenty motif, the inexhaustible gift that
Hmm.
the themes running through stories like King Midas, perhaps, or the genie in the lamp, that sort of thing.
Hmm.
Um, but in Danny Finch's case, there's no gold, there's no lamps. Um, it's just an extra pair of arms. Yeah, so
I
that.
think you made quite an interesting film. Actually, I can see that as being in a nice sort of animation, which would be a nice thing to have, wouldn't it?
Oh, that'd be
That'd be
fantastic.
fantastic.
An Netflix series, who knows?
uh,
Yeah.
so, did you always want to write?
I always thought I could do it, but I'm someone who has to, when I experience creative bursts, I have to do it there and then. I'm not a very organised person, um, but I found myself when I was a PA in London um, having these creative bursts on the commute, on the tube, on the way into work, thinking, oh, I wish I could just be sitting down
Yeah.
now and getting these ideas down. Then obviously you get to work and things get in the way, and then you get home and you're too exhausted to write, and the creative juices sort of just fizzled out. Um, so I found that kept happening. I kept having half ideas unfinished. Um, and then when I moved to Rutland, my pace of life slowed down a lot, work part time. So that really enabled me to fulfill and finish for
Excellent.
the first time in my life a creative project,
Oh, that's
as it
good.
were.
That's good.
Yeah.
Right. Four Arms is such a striking physical difference. Is the novel more about the practicalities of that reality, or does it serve as a metaphor for something deeper?
Yeah, it did turn. I didn't intend it to be metaphorical at first. As I say, it was quite frivolous. It was visual. It was just these strange, almost slapstick scenarios that Danny, the protagonist, found himself in. And then, as I got more into it, um, as I was drafting and editing, it did naturally become a metaphor, I suppose, for lost potential or excess, and we've all been presented with opportunities we perhaps not prepared for. And I know it sounds funny, how can a reader relate to a guy with 4 arms? But we've all been there, I think, when we've not been prepared for responsibility, perhaps. So with this extra pair of arms, although it's a blessing, I suppose, it became more of eventually a curse for him. I don't want to give too much away about the book, but what he does or doesn't do with the arms becomes a major theme of the book, and it's more about his unachieved potential, shall we say.
Yeah, okay. So what is your writing routine? How do you actually go about it?
It's chaotic. It's quite chaotic, but there is some kind of sanity to it. I have a border collie, so hours and hours of walking. And on the dog walks, I just find myself naturally visualizing scenes of the book. And almost, if there's no one looking, I will sound crazy now, talk to myself in a kind of role play.
Yeah.
Do you do the same?
Absolutely. Everybody does.
Yeah, good. I'm not mad. To really cement the scenes in place. And I find that really helps. And then, say if I'm writing a scene where there's a basement and then a suitcase or a phone call, an apology, I'll just memorize those words in a sort of mnemonic, is it called? And just remember those words on the dog walk. As soon as I get back home, write them down, have something to eat, have a coffee, and then get to work just based on those prompts, those one-word prompts. And that's usually all I need, because I work quite visually. So I memorise the scenes and I can sort of see them quite clearly in my mind. And obviously writing a protagonist who has 4 arms, it's quite memorable. A lot of easy to remember, let's say.
Half an octopus. So how long did it actually take from the first idea to the finished manuscript, and what did that whole process look like for you?
Oh, it was chaos. It was sheer chaos. I didn't even know the end of the book until I was 2 years in. But because I've never tried before, this was my first go at writing a book. I've never done any creative writing courses or anything like that. Just been a PA in London. I'd say that 2 years of it, I was watching podcasts, very much like what you're doing, to sort of get to know how people write, how authors think, learning about the process, teaching myself how to write. So I was doing some really bad schoolgirl error things at the beginning, the whole telling and not showing, starting too many sentences with he, she, and all of the amateur things I was doing. But I honed it along the way, always reading as well, a lot of fiction. But I'd say from start to finish, from actually getting published, it's 5 years, so quite a long time.
Yeah. Seems about right. It does take a lot longer than everybody thinks it will. Oh, so what's been the most challenging aspect of writing Finch's Arms?
I don't know about the writing of it. I mean, as I've just said, learning how to write on the job, as it were, that was a challenge, but a very enjoyable challenge. But I suppose trying to pin it down to a genre, because obviously when you're submitting your manuscript, you need to know exactly where it's going to sit on a bookshelf, in a section in a bookstore. And I just didn't know what genre it was. I was thinking, is it magical realism? But then it's magical and it's not. There's a fantastical element to it, but it's really quite relatable in setting a grim reality. And then I thought, well, it's funny and it's sad. I thought, that's got to be dark comedy. But I did get some help by getting as many people as I could to read my manuscript before submission, and it seemed to be most people saying this is definitely a dark comedy. So that I found really challenging. It took a long time, to get that genre defined.
Okay. What's next? Are you already in something new? Will there be a sequel?
I have thought about a sequel, but I don't want to give too much away about the book. but there could be a sequel. It does leave things in a perfect opportunity for a sequel. And they do say trilogies are really good if you do a trilogy of it. So that does appeal to me. But at the moment, I'm on my second draft of my next novel, which is a completely different type of book. No arms, no extra arms, no strange abnormalities. But it's a psychological suspense.
Okay,
So I'm really
good.
enjoying that.
Yeah, very popular genre right now. Very popular.
Oh, good. Because I don't think Finch's Arms, because it's so unique, it's so out there, surreal, absurd, and as I say, not being able to define the genre does limit you, I found.
Yeah. Okay, so has stepping back and looking at your work thrown up any surprises about yourself as a writer? How's it affected you?
I mean, I surprised myself by finishing it and getting published. I mean, I still can't believe it, really. And it surprised me that if I put my mind to something, I can actually finish something if I really put heart and passion into it. So that's been a real eye opener for me, because I've tended to go through my life being quite negative, a lot of criticism, self-talk, self-doubt, always setting anything in. Oh, people get published, that happens to other people, not you. But I purposely said, no, change your attitude, positive. Whenever those self-doubt thoughts were coming in, I would just chuck them out, and I actively did that. The whole, what's that saying? If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. And I've always, started projects and just left them and they've not finished. But so that was a real eye opener. But also, I don't know why, but all my protagonists so far have been male. And I didn't realise that until I sat down and thought the other day. Someone told me, why are they always male? And I don't know. I really don't know why that is. So that surprised me as well.
Okay. Right. Finally, where can people buy your book?
All the usual avenues, but I also have a website, which is laznewton.neocities.org. So you can buy it on there as well, and it's got a clear button that will link you to where you can buy it. And it's available on Kindle or paperback at the moment. So, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Laz Newton. All the best with your writing journey, and I'll see you sometime again, I'm sure.
Thanks so much. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.